Think about what your service does and think about when the person is at their desk saying, I need something that does X. That's what you want to call yourself, whatever that X is.
I think it's a great
it's a really
idea.
good idea.
You just need to present it properly so
Yeah.
that people understand exactly what it is and what you need the money for.
I would probably give some advice on that. If I were the inventor's attorney, I would probably say, oh, you ever do this to find the sniper, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
It's fun. Some of them are tough.
Really
hard.
I saw one where even when they showed me where he was,
Really?
I could not see him. I'm like, maybe it works with fuzzy eyes. I'm like, nope.
Some of them are hard to
Oh, yeah.
find, man.
Yeah.
Especially like, I dropped my ring in the carpet or something and it's shaggy carpet.
Yeah.
It's tough. All right. Hi. What's up, man? How you been?
Good, yourself?
It's been a couple weeks.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, listeners won't know this because they're going to get it consecutively.
Yeah, I know. But for
But
my
between,
sake,
yes.
I missed you, buddy. I did. I missed you.
You missed my face?
I did. I missed you. And then I will be. We can do it next. We can do it next week, and then I'll be on vacation.
No, you don't get when you are a podcast host. You don't get
a vacation.
Nope, that's how
right.
it works.
All right, so let's start with the first one. All right, so seeking advice on starting an IT services business focused on process automation, AI, ML, and Gen AI. I like it already.
I figured you would like this one.
Hello, everyone. This is from Kassup. No, Kassup. K-A-U-S-H-P. We'll just Kassup? I don't know, something like that. I'm going to say ketchup. That sounds better.
I think he just hit his fingers on the keyboard.
I like
and
ketchup.
Let's go with that.
I'm excited to share that I'm planning to start an IT services business that will focus on providing services in process automation, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and generative AI. I'm passionate about leveraging technology to solve complex problems and enhance business operations, and I believe these areas have significant potential. However, there's always a however. As a new entrepreneur, I could use some guidance on a few key aspects. Getting started, building a portfolio, acquiring customers, standing out in the marketplace, challenges and pitfalls. It sounds like every other business out there. Every business has these same exact startup questions. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, but there's obviously some things that are particular to what he's doing. But for the most part, this is a very generic answer. So where do you want to start? You want to pick it up?
No, getting started, it's the same for any business. Go get your first client.
Right.
Go sell something. Right? Like that's step one. Figure out what you want to sell.
I got to back up a little bit.
Okay.
So again, from the legal side of things, I got to talk a little bit more about whether or not you're registering is a different story. So sometimes you need insurance, right?
Correct.
So
let's assume he knows the basics of opening a business.
Okay.
But actually is getting started with the business once everything is
all right,
registered.
so he's got the business open. If there's insurance needs, he has those. He has his E&O, all that stuff.
Everything is good.
License, he's ready to go.
Insurance, he's ready to go.
All right,
go sell something.
Go sell something, exactly.
Right? So because IT services is such a broad term, I'll use the example. I had someone that is she's a nurse. You happen to know her too.
Okay.
I started an elder care business. But there were like 200 different things you can do in that niche. And I kept telling her, go sell something.
Right.
Because once you sell it, you find out whether or not you actually like providing it or not. Right? And in the IT world, we deal with IT. We use it as a marketing company. Sure. Like it's
a great tool.
But yeah, it's legal or... What does he say there? Are there legal or regulatory considerations I should be aware of? Yeah, there's a lot of legal and regulatory when it comes to IT. There's a lot of insurance. There's a lot of those things. But you can find a niche in the market, right? If you're just doing process automation, you don't need a lot of the insurances because you're not the one providing the actual service. You're providing the implementation of that type of stuff. So it's a very gray area, right?
But it also depends on where you are too, right? So if you're in the EU, there's a big difference between if you're in the United States or somewhere else. Correct. Because with the GDPR, if you're a processor of data, you're beholden to so many the rules, just like you're the owner of the data. So there's a lot of rules that are involved with that. So it all depends on where you're doing it too.
Correct. And so let's say you're doing no code or low code automation. you're using like make.com or whatever to help people implement these processes, implement these third-party systems. There's actually a really good one out there, guy that I found on TikTok. He set up an AI company called, it's not an AI company. That's not the right.
That's what it's called. It's not an AI company?
No, it uses AI, but it helps businesses create automations using AI. So they use AI to create AI automation.
Okay.
It's a pretty nifty concept. So you literally talk to the AI about what your problem is. Mm-hmm. It suggests what process could be put in place and what AI tools would fit in, and then it builds it for you.
And then it does it for you. That's cool. That's a cool tool.
That's a cool tool, right? But once again, it comes back to you still have to understand how to prompt it, right, properly. Like everything comes back to that. But it's a pretty nifty tool that kind of does what he's talking about doing. But there's also other businesses right now that are trying to figure out how does AI fit into our business.
Right.
Where do these processes fit?
And as AI gets better and better, in fact, I don't know if you saw, but Claude 3, I think it was, broke the 100 mark on the IQ test.
Yeah.
It's the first one to do it.
Yep.
Man, where are we going to be in 5 years?
Where are we going to be in 2 years? Right? Like I tell people all the time, if you want to see how far AI has come, look at the pictures AI was generating 18 months ago versus the pictures. Yeah, that's 18 months.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy because sometimes you can't tell the difference. All right, so that's getting started, but let's continue on.
But building a portfolio, acquiring customers, it's really the same thing. Go out, sell something to someone, figure out, is there a niche in the market? Do you have some type of expertise that's really good for even like a specific industry, right? Like you could just do warehousing and just solve problems for warehouses. And there are more warehouses in the US than you could handle. You could do it for dentists. Like there's so many industries. I would start by picking an industry, figuring out, because they're all going to have similar problems. Start with one industry and then move to the next.
So years ago when I started my first web development company, it's difficult to jump into it and build a portfolio with paying clients. It really is, because they don't know who you are, they don't know what you're capable of, etc.
But I think this is different because AI is such a hot topic. People are literally looking to pay someone. There's a guy that I know that is out there teaching people how to do basic prompting.
Oh, sure. No, right? I get that. But here's what I'm getting at, okay? And I'm always thinking on the legal and protective side of things as well, right? So one of the things you have to be concerned with is if you're going to start charging people for doing this work, you haven't really proven that it works yet. And I'm not talking about just from a marketing and acceptance standpoint. I'm talking about from a technology standpoint as well. You give someone the data to process and it spits out the wrong information or it does something incorrectly, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble, right? So you really want to test this thing out before you start going against your own E&O insurance and stuff like that. So what I always found was, there's lots of nonprofits out there. There's churches, there's organizations, there's groups, whatever, that need help, that can't afford to pay for it, but you spend a couple of months, that's all you need is a couple of months proving your software works or proving whatever you're doing works with them, because you have feedback, you have live people that you're working with, you have an organizational approach, and you find out if it works or not. All it is testing your product in the marketplace before going out and actually selling it. Now you can build client lists as you're doing it, say, hey, once this is ready, we'll come to you if you want. But I wouldn't put it right into the marketplace for $1 yet until you've proven it works. I know you would. I would.
100% I would. Right? So this is the interesting thing is I always tell people, go sell it and you'll figure out a way to make it work.
Right?
Like if there's money on the table, you will figure out a way to make it work. And because he's really talking about seems like he's talking more about implementation of software rather than developing it.
Right.
So back when I worked for my first website development company, which was also a software development company, I would go out and sell stuff all the time. And then I would come back and say, oh, by the way, I sold this and now we need to figure out how to make it. And the initial answer from the software developers was always the same.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Can't be done.
We hate you for that.
Yeah, no,
we hate you for that.
Can't be done. And I'm like, don't tell me it can't be done, because it can be done. We just got to figure out how, right? And when there was enough money on the table, We figured out exactly how to solve it.
But what if you didn't? Then you lose that customer and you lose your reputation right away.
You don't really lose your reputation. I mean, as long as you're preemptive about this is development and we can see if it works. If you don't, if we can't deliver the product, we're not going to charge you.
Okay, so as long as the customer knows that, look, we're
Correct.
still building
I mean,
this and we don't know exactly how it's going to
correct.
work.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm okay with that.
You got to be honest and upfront, right? So I think with this, literally, go find a business that has a problem, charge them some nominal amount or some amount that you think would be reasonable to cover your time. See if you can solve it, right? Mm-hmm. And then now you have something that is sellable to a similar industry businesses. And you can literally go down the line. And where so many people go wrong with this type of stuff is that they don't niche down initially on a specific market that has a specific problem where you can solve it over and over and over again. Because everybody in business has the same problems with the same things in almost every industry.
Getting customers and getting the job done and getting paid for
it. Not only that, right? But even like with processes, right? So you and I had this conversation. How good are people at reviewing contracts for purchasing?
Right.
Right? We know this is a problem across the board.
Everybody has
the same problem, right? Everybody shortcuts the review process. Mm-hmm. And it's like that in every business, right? It's every chiropractor I know doesn't send out their monthly newsletters unless they hired someone to do it. Every contractor I know doesn't do follow-up surveys with their customers, right? So there are, and it's pretty much across the board. You can find the exception that does it. But generally, if you find a business and you find an industry that has a problem or a process they haven't solved, it's going to be universal across that industry for like 95% of the people in that industry. So with implementing like process automation and AI and stuff, niche down, find an industry, hammer the shit out of it, and then just keep going after more and more businesses in the same field. Because you and I both know, especially because you're an attorney, right? If I called you tomorrow and I'm like, hey, thinking about getting a divorce, can you help me? You'd be like, no.
No, I feel. But I would recommend someone that
correct,
would, right?
Because they've done it so many times. That's also the beauty of niching down in this type of industry is now if you partner with someone else that does something similar but not the exact same thing, you have a cross referral network as well, where this company says, no, we can't do it, but this guy does. And as long as you're not trying to take away from their business, other businesses in your field are going to be very likely to recommend you because all of this ties down to more IT stuff, right? So like you could partner with IT company. Instead of calling this an IT company, call it a process automation service, whatever you want to call it, where you can literally partner with the IT companies for a lot of these entities. And then have them bring you in rather than necessarily just the company bringing you in.
Again, I agree with that, but I go back to you got to make sure it works first. You have to. You got to make sure it works first.
You won't know it works until you start trying to implement it.
Hence my point of do it with lower level players before.
Nope.
Wait, we can agree to disagree on that one. We totally can.
Go charge someone for it. And
oh man, that scares me.
Why?
Because if you get it wrong, you're done. You have one shot at that. One.
You have one shot at one client.
No, you have one shot at that.
No, you have multiple shots.
What happens when they go on Google and put a review about you, about how horrible your service is and how you screwed them over?
If you're a new company, you just start a new company tomorrow. Stop making problems, solutions. But no, I mean, the key in that is you have to be honest and upfront with when you sell the product, letting them know that this is something new, right? Like
I agree with that.
And generally, if the business owner or the business you're working with knows that this is not a guaranteed solution, but you are figuring out, even if you figure out 60, 70% of the solution, if you take away 70% of something that was done manually and you help them automate it, they're still going to be happy. How about this?
Right? Let's meet in the middle here, all right? Instead of giving away the services for free to a church group, whatever like that, go out, hold on, find your paying client, right? But tell your paying client, you don't pay me until it's working for you.
Take a deposit.
the whole point is to
Take a
it's
deposit.
completely it's worth it for them to give you the shot because they're not paying you any money. You still want a deposit.
I still want a deposit.
Why? Because if the software works and they need it, they're going to pay you for it.
Yeah, but he's not developing software. That's the problem.
Well, whatever the process. If the process works,
but that's the thing. When you're doing these types of things, they can literally turn around and push the copy and paste button in something like make.com.
Oh, they're never going to hate it. They're never going to hate it. If you do it the right way, they won't know what your process is. Your process is hidden behind software. They're not going to know how you did it.
Not with what it sounds like he's talking about.
I think he does. I think he's going to. I mean, he's talking about building service automation.
He's not building it. He's providing services in process automation.
Yeah, but let's take, for example, your prompting question, right? You're the guy who teaches people just how to prompt.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give that to the business that I'm working for if I haven't been paid for it yet, right? But I'm going to show them, here are the results of what we've done.
Okay.
So I think that's a happy medium between us. Okay. All right.
Take a deposit.
Take a deposit. All right. This is all you standing out in the market. This is all you.
So at the end of the day, that comes down to the niching down, right? Like the more you can niche down, the more you can stand out, and then start.
Right.
It's the same concept, and it's the same challenges and pitfalls. We've talked about that.
Yeah,
kind of covered.
The challenge is going to be that you're going to be going up against people who are already in the market, established, bigger, deeper pockets.
Standing out. Don't say you're an IT company because it makes
everybody's an IT company.
Correct. And it doesn't tell people what you do.
That's right.
When you come in somewhere and say, hey, I'm an IT company, they think you want to touch their
think about what your service does.
Yes.
And think about when the person is at their desk saying, I need something that does X.
Yes.
That's what you want to call yourself, whatever that X is, because that's what they're looking for.
Some kind of automation, something.
Yeah. I need something that will automate this process for me. Great. I'm an automation process company.
AI implementation.
Yeah.
Right? Something like that. Yeah. It's also a buzzword right now, so.
All right. Well, I love the business idea. I really do hope it works out for you. Really cool. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Oh, and smash that like button too.
Smash that like button. All right, let's get back to it. All right, moving on.
No, go up.
What did I miss?
This one.
I'm finally going to start a boring business side hustle, but okay.
Yes.
I thought that was an ad because it was highlighted like that. Pressure washing business, pros and cons, thinking of getting into it. All right, I'm on the hunt for a boring business / side hustle to start up and make some extra cash while relatively keeping costs down. I've done some research on power washing and I'm wondering if anyone on here has had personal experience running that business. How was your P&L? My only issue is I don't have a truck, okay? But theoretically, I can line jobs up one day and rent a truck. Very true. But then I don't know about the water situation. LOL. Any ideas? Well, so power washing, no, I actually know a few people that do this. Mm-hmm. A lot of times people will do a couple of side gigs, lawn care, mowing lawns and power washing, whether it's houses or sidewalks or whatever, and a couple other small side gigs to earn some money to start that bigger business.
And make sure you are aware of what needs to be power washed and what needs to be soft washed.
Yes. So that was the next thing we'll get into is, again, back to the insurance thing. Make sure you get insurance on this because that hose screws up and hits the window and the window breaks. Yep. Guess who's paying for not just the broken window, but all the water damage in the house? Yep. You are. You're responsible now. And if you don't have insurance, oh boy. But also, there's a very big difference between certain things you can spray with heavy, heavy concentration of pressurized water and things that literally need to be scrubbed.
And this is actually a brilliant business. I happen to have a few clients that do this. And the marketing for this literally consists of setting up their Google business profile and then going on the Facebook forums and dropping content in, answering questions for recommendations for a power washer, all that stuff. Because if it's a side hustle, you're going to get more than enough jobs. And then door hangers are brilliant for this. Because you can go into a development that has 60, 70 houses, and in 20 minutes you can put up 60 of them. Even if only 2 people or 1 person, but just make sure, don't go into the development once and call it a day.
Right.
Go there every weekend for a month, and I'll guarantee you'll have 3 or 4 jobs lined up. And then when you go and do the job, put your lawn sign out front and basically own that development. Because with something like this business, it's not a people don't go and shop around for power washers.
Right.
It's a convenience business, right? So if they see the house next to them being washed by you, they might literally walk over and just say, hey, what would you charge for mine, right?
Now, I'm thinking outside the box
Yes,
here, okay?
go for it.
Along with the power washing, have you heard of what's called anti-graffiti?
Anti-graffiti.
Yeah, have you heard of this?
Not.
Oh, this is cool. It's probably been around for a little while, but I only read about it maybe 6 months ago or so. It's so think of like you're walking down the street on pavement, and the pavement's got right. You take a stencil and you power wash out the stencil, and it's in the ground. It's in the pavement, right? It's not graffiti.
No,
it's not technically illegal either. It's not that I'm giving criminal law advice here, but
there is a guy,
it's a really cool idea.
So I didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah, anti-graffiti.
But there's actually an artist. I think he's up in New York City that businesses can hire, and he will make advertisements on the sidewalk out in front of their business.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that could be a cool side gig for this guy, right? Since you're going to do the power washing anyway, and you have all the tools. You can start doing advertisements on walkways and stuff.
Right.
That's pretty neat because the only way to get rid of it is to actually power wash the walkway.
The walkway.
So you start telling people, hey, look, I have this ad here. You want me to get rid of it? I can do that too.
Nice.
So you get both sides of the coin. All right. So that was from Silver Big 3965. Good luck to you. Yeah, definitely the little side gigs are great. Oh, just see what you want to do, and it's like become something bigger, or you're going to save up to do something bigger.
I have to bring up franchising.
Yeah, of course,
because I do every episode. So right up the street from you, there's a company called Rolling Suds.
Yep.
So they sold 187 franchises last year.
Get out.
All power washing.
What?
Yep.
How?
Because it is such a fragmented industry that doesn't really have any type of organization or no major player in it.
But I've never even seen any advertising. I only know that because I saw their sign when I was driving by once.
That's advertising.
But I'm talking about like television advertising or radio or
they
newspaper.
Don't need it. They
don't
don't
see any
need
of that
it.
stuff.
You don't need it.
They have a good web plan?
No.
A good web marketing? No?
No. Remember what I said at the beginning? Remember what I said at the beginning of this conversation?
I know what you said.
All they needed was their Google business profile and some interaction in local Facebook forums.
They do lead gen for their franchisees? Is that what they do?
No, the franchisees do it themselves.
Then why do I need the franchisor?
Because they provide you with the trucks and the structure and the business.
So they give you all that. Okay.
Correct.
Well, so sometimes the franchises just provide you with a name.
No. So like they give you all the operational stuff.
Equipment too?
Yeah, you can. I think you can buy it from them. So like they have the trucks fully fitted, all that stuff. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting because this industry is right now super easy to market.
Yep.
And highly profitable because otherwise you wouldn't have sold 187 franchises in a year.
Kidding. Well, good for them. Well, maybe this guy can sell some franchises. So good luck to you over there. All right. Now, let's see. My idea because I hate eBay.
No.
Should we just skip it? Or just say no. Before we even read about it, say no. You're not going to build another auction website. No, it's not going to work. No, people are not going to come to it because they hate eBay. You know why? Because everybody uses eBay.
Or they use Facebook Marketplace.
But that's not an auction website.
But he mentions it on there, right?
Let's see. Let's see what he actually says.
Fine. Let's do it. I'm going to hate this one.
I consider myself a technologist and always look to have the latest gadgets like smartphones and tablets. Sometimes that love of new things bites me in the butt, and I have regrets beyond the return period. If I want to get a different device, usually I have to go through the process of selling my device on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, like you just said. The problems here are that, one, selling the device instantly causes a loss in what was spent to buy the device. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Two, services like eBay eat up even more of the money received because of their service fees and such.
Correct.
And three, now you more than likely have to add money to what you received to purchase what you want in a brand new condition. This is a lot of work and money because you never saw yourself being unhappy soon after. Well, this is just purchase. This is regret. What's the term when you buy something and then
buyer's remorse?
Buyer's remorse. Thank you. I kept thinking regret. Buyer's remorse. That's all this is. All right. Here's the idea. Tinder-like app that matches you with other users who are looking to so it's a swap.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a swap tool. All right, I'm not even going to read it anymore. It's a swap tool.
I told you I would hate this. This is
Why do you hate swap? Why do you hate funds?
You can do this on Facebook. You don't have to sell your device. You can just offer to trade it and tell people, I have this, I want this. It's not rocket science. You don't need an app for it.
Why would someone trade you a newer device for something?
Let's say, for example,
you both pay a fee for shipping your devices to the central location. Oh, here we go. Where the items are inspected by technicians. No, you've already lost money.
So you're still going to lose money.
You've already lost money.
Yeah. But, yeah.
The service doesn't guarantee or warranty the devices. The service only inspects to make sure the description... No, I don't see how you make money here because people...
You would charge a service fee.
Well, that's what eBay does.
No, but
eBay doesn't inspect.
He's just talking about that you would basically send it to like an IT company that just verifies that it is an iPhone 15, that it does power on, and that's it.
But you have to charge a fee for that.
Correct. But what he's arguing is that it would be less of a fee than listing it, selling it, having to buy another device, then taking that device. Then if you didn't get the device that you thought you bought, if you bought another device on eBay, now you have to go through the return process of the false device.
I would say that it is not cheaper. There's no way. Because if you're taking... One of the things eBay does not do is eBay does not receive the device from you and then give it out, because now they're liable for anything with that device once they put their hands on it. What happens if your technician puts their hands on it and breaks it, drops it, spills water on it, or here's the better one. They're going to get it and it's broken, and then the person who sent it is going to say it wasn't broken when I sent it to you.
Correct.
Right? Who's responsible for that? No, this is not. You do not want to receive.
I would hate this.
You do not want to receive or be in the business of receiving electronic products from somebody and then giving it to somebody else. You do not want to be in that business.
I wouldn't want to be in this business.
You will 25% or more of the time that person will say it wasn't broke when I sent it to you, right? Or you did something to this. I mean, people will drop their iPhones as soon as they buy them from Apple and then send them to you and say, here, let's go sell it.
But so let's say theoretically that is a small percentage of people that do that, right?
It's more than small.
But but I mean, that's why eBay works, all that stuff is because the vast majority of people are doing it legit, right?
People were selling empty boxes saying that there were PlayStations in there.
I know, but they listed them as empty boxes.
Or they would sell the iPhone and it just had a bag of sand in it.
Yeah, but it was listed as an iPhone box.
But that's what I'm saying.
Correct.
They're going to find ways to mess around.
Correct. But so, it happens.
Anyway, go ahead.
But eBay also sells, what is it, like 100 million items every month?
Sure.
So even if that's 10,000 cases, it's nominal, right? But so the thing I like about this idea is the fact that it's just a swap, right? So if you have the new iPhone Pro and I have the Galaxy S24 whatever, right? And I end up not liking my device and you don't like yours, we literally just go here, right? So
I'm okay with that.
No harm, no foul, but it's adding these other steps that bugs me in this and having to verify and just trade it on. There's someone willing to trade with you on Facebook. There's someone willing to trade with you somewhere.
Okay, now take it a little step further. So let's talk about just the swapping part, right? You and I have a phone that I don't like. You have a phone that you don't like, and we like each other's phones, and we want to swap, right? But you're in Arizona, and I'm in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
How do we swap that? And the answer, of course, is, well, you got to send it to each other.
But
how do I know that I'm going to receive the phone, etc.? Okay?
Correct.
Ready? Blockchain. I love it. No, seriously, you set up a coin to do this. Right? Where you have to pay so much money into the blockchain, right, for the device, and then once both parties agree that they've received what they expected, that money is released back to you. You can put it. It can be in a blockchain ledger. It'll be very easy to do.
So how does that? You still are running into the same problems. I send you a bag of sand.
Yeah.
How?
Well, then I'm never going to approve that you sent me the right thing.
So what happens to the money? It's just
well, then at that point, then it's just like eBay would have to go through a review process.
So the same thing.
Well, yes, but you still have to charge it.
So he's suggesting the same thing.
But what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of eBay or whatever this company is for being responsible for the sand coming through. right? Because if I were receiving the product as the company before I send it off to the other person,
Right.
I'm now responsible.
Right.
I'm taking out that responsibility, but you still have a level of protection in there for the person sending the item through the mail.
So do you have to put away the full value of whatever you sent?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you would.
So like
you would
if I
have to,
send you an iPhone Pro newest model, I would have to put $1,200 into an account.
probably something like that. Somehow you value it.
Yeah,
I haven't
and-
thought it through all the way, but you'd have to value it somehow because that's what the person's expecting.
Right.
Right, and then once both sides agree that the transaction is completed,
So
you can
now
release
the
you can
so
release
now the
funds back.
marketer in me comes out.
Here we go. Mark it away.
Do most people that worry about this? Let me rephrase
Yeah,
that
yeah.
question. If you wanted to go buy a new iPhone Pro today, would that be a major concern for you?
No.
Okay. The people that feel like they need to swap because they can't just
Right.
take the $200 loss or $300 loss, do they have $1,200 available to put as a security deposit?
They're gonna have to put something.
Right, but this is the marketing side, right?
It's what's called a smart contract. This is what Ethereum is really good at. Smart contract.
so
I know
I-
I'm telling them.
Okay, so I get it. But once again, the people that would be most likely to use something like this probably don't have that type of cash laying around to be able to put down as a security deposit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my only concern is now you've eliminated a large chunk of who you could be using because they don't have $300 to put aside.
Well, hold on. If they just bought a brand new iPhone 15 or something like that, we're up to 15 now, right? Yeah,
I don't know.
I think with brand new iPhone 15, chances are they have the ability to.
Not necessarily.
But if they have like an older iPhone 13 or 12, that's not worth $1,200. That's worth $200 or $300 now at the most, maybe even $100.
So even
right?
so, let's say it's $400.
Yeah, you still
So-
have to put. You gotta. How else are you gonna protect it
That's what he's trying to get around, is that you don't
without
have to
taking the
front-
liability?
Well, he never says he wasn't take the liability.
Yeah, well, you can't take the
Correct.
liability.
But,
You
so
can't.
this is why I think, and from the get-go, I said I hate this idea.
But I'm trying
Because-
to build one that we can at least
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
all right, it's not a terrible idea.
So it's one of those that
And it can be automated.
any idea that you come up with is going to require some kind of security deposit or some
Yeah,
kind of
has to.
verification. Even eBay offers buyer protection,
Yep.
all those things. It's just for swapping things, yes, electronics, but I don't know. I'm not saying this idea won't work. Let's be clear. I'm just saying I hate it personally.
Yeah. I'm not a
there's-
fan of it either. Again,
there's-
anytime you have to take on the responsibility of handling somebody else's
or
products,
even being a middleman
Yeah, I don't like
for trading devices, or like, let's say I sent you my watch and it's cracked,
yeah,
because it is cracked. It's been cracked for a year.
right. But they don't know that.
I send it to you and I go, no, well, it wasn't cracked in the packaging.
Yeah, look at this picture that I photoshopped of a brand new
Well,
watch.
what if it was improperly packaged and
Right.
it now cracked more, right?
Yeah,
Because I can take a photo of this watch just like this and you will never
I would
see
never
that
know
it's
that
cracked.
was cracked.
Nope.
No.
You only see it when the screen turns off.
Right.
Right? So I can take a picture of it and say, oh, it was perfect when I sent
Yeah.
it. Yeah, but you only put it in an envelope. Well, you didn't specify that I had to put it in a padded envelope.
Yeah.
Right?
This
Like,
gets
it's-
so tricky. And
I
so
know.
I
This
would
is
be
why
really, really
I
careful
hate
with this.
everything about this idea.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. I hate the idea of this as a business. I love the idea itself because, like, I have a Samsung S23 sitting
Yeah.
at my office desk right now.
That you'll never use.
I hate it,
Yeah.
but I would really love to try a Pixel, right? The Google Pixel.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's the 7, previous model. The two devices are worth about the same in dollars and cents. It's finding someone that doesn't like their Google Pixel that
Right.
would want to try the S23, whatever it is, and literally go, here,
Yeah.
let's swap it, because it would be no. So I like the idea of being able to do that. I just
Yeah.
don't like the idea of this as a business.
I mean, the funny thing is, the cleanest way to do it is the middleman idea.
It's like the swap
but
meets.
you're as the business, you're going to be
Right?
in big.
Swap-
Well, the swap meets are in person though,
Correct.
and
But
I can
so-
look at it and say there's a crack in this.
So like, this is not a new idea.
No,
it's
of course.
it's just an idea trying to bring it to digital and across.
Yeah.
the country, right? It's
All right, Big Smooth 66.
Okay.
Good luck with that one. I would just be really careful about
Super
handling other people's products and then shipping them off elsewhere. Because on either end of that transaction, someone's going to blame you.
they're always going to blame you.
Always going to blame you. All right, searching for business ideas in the Baltic.
Oh,
Your home area, sort of.
No.
Yeah, close enough.
that's like saying Canada's your
I know.
home area.
Well, geographically
Actually,
speaking,
Mexico.
much closer. Hello from Lithuania. Oh, no, you're nowhere near Lithuania. I am currently on the lookout for some unique business ideas that are specific to our country, but could potentially be adapted and successful in other small countries as well. I'm interested in concepts related to bars, food, services, entertainment, any other innovative idea. What's innovative about any of those things?
Go look up, and we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Go look up what the founder of Chipotle is working on right now.
Okay, and what is that?
He is coming up with small niche type restaurants that are like 95% automated and can run lunchtime rush hour in New York City with 3 employees.
Oh, very cool.
So just go look that up.
I was reading something about a McDonald's. There's not even anybody in there.
Oh, so funny story.
Yeah.
A few years ago,
Don't say franchise. Go ahead.
McDonald's is a franchise.
No, I'm kidding.
A few years ago, a buddy of mine took a job with a communications company, and I'm going to leave out who that is. And he kept getting shipped out. And I'm like, where the hell are you going? And he's like, oh, we're going to Saudi Arabia. Like, why are you going to Saudi Arabia? He's like, because we're the communications company that is involved with building the first fully automated McDonald's, and that's where they were building it.
Oh, okay.
Saudi Arabia or UAE, I forget exactly where it was. So the first fully automated McDonald's was not built in the U.S., from what I understand.
That's actually not surprising.
But this is going back like almost 9 years.
Yeah.
So they've been doing this for a long time, and it still hasn't. I mean, McDonald's just killed their first version of the AI attendant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're now back to people.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it's based on the old language models,
Right.
not the new ones. And it just never worked the way they intended it to work. They were having issues with it. So my guess is they're probably redeveloping it using a new language model,
Right.
the newer versions, and that's going to be easier.
Give it a couple of years on that one.
But I think McDonald's was too early in that stage for it to be. But
I just read a survey about that. I think it was like 63. I could be maybe imposing the number. It might be 53 or 63 people. 63% of people said that they would not go to a store that used AI for service. Like if they walked into a store and it didn't have a human being there, they wouldn't actually get what they needed.
For now.
That's what they're saying.
How many people said, I will never use self-checkout.
Right.
I will never use a kiosk.
Yeah.
Right? And what happened? 90% of people use
let me
the
tell you about self-checkout. Right? That bothers me. I use it because it is convenient to get out. But man, sometimes I just want to punch that machine.
And that is exactly the thing, is you still use it.
Well, because the lines are too long.
Because you still use it.
But I get up there and it's like,
I know.
Please put your blank in the bag. And I put it in there. And it says, too many items. And what do you mean too many items in there? They take something out. Put your item back in the bag. It's like, figure it out. I already put it in there.
But yeah, so I think, especially because I have a culinary background, I think figuring out automations in so not like the fast food type restaurants, but more the casual dining, like the Chipotle type style. If you can figure out how to cut labor there, because labor is going to be the biggest challenge for those industries.
Oh, 100%.
In the next few years.
Absolutely, without question. Labor's a challenge for almost any industry. Yeah. It's always your biggest expense. If you can cut it and automate it, it'll obviously increase your profits.
Yeah.
All right, so ideas in the Baltic? Well, there you go. There's some ideas for the Baltic.
And that's scalable.
Oh, completely. Yeah. All right. Seeking angel investor. No, thank you. Mobile bartending business ideas.
Oh.
But they're looking at how to fund it. No, we're not talking about funding. New social media app idea.
I'm going to throw a plug in.
Oh, please, go ahead.
So the mobile bartending business.
Yeah.
There's actually a buddy of mine that opened a company called Nay Bars. So what he does is he takes old horse trailers
Okay.
and turns them into mobile bars
Really cool.
that you can rent.
Yeah.
And they show up at your location and you provide the alcohol. They provide the full bar in this like horse trailer that has been converted. And I think it's a pretty nifty idea.
Where do they do that at?
Up here.
In this area?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
So they just show up, they pull in this trailer, they pop it open. It's a full bar setup, glasses, everything is already there. All you have to do is just put the alcohol in.
Right.
And you have a professional bartender that provides all the service.
Very cool.
It's a really, really cool concept. So
That is a neat idea.
So when he says best way to fund the start of a mobile bartending business, go buy a horse trailer.
Go buy a horse trailer.
Fit it out, and there you go. You can show up with
the trailer itself, maybe 20, 30 grand.
Not
or
even
maybe
buy them
10
used,
grand.
but you can buy one that it literally is beat down because you're gonna strip it down and build it anyway.
Yeah.
So you can buy, as long as it rolls, you can pretty much use
That's true,
it. Right?
because it doesn't have
But
its
yeah.
own engine. So
Best way to fund the start of a mobile bartending business: go bartend. Like
right,
do
or
mobile,
start a power washing company
Correct.
and build a few
Yeah.
bucks that way. There you go.
But-
No, seriously, that's the thing. When people talk about like, I want to start this idea for business, but I need funding. A lot of times you don't.
You don't
go get your own funding. You don't want someone else investing in your business right now because they're going to tell you what to do and when to do
Or-
it, and you'll never be able to grow.
or take the risk and borrow the money.
Yeah, or borrow it, right.
Swipe it on a credit card.
If you're in the United States, Small Business Administration, the SBA, that's what they're
I
there
mean,
for.
If it's under 15 grand to get started, swipe it on a credit card.
Yeah,
Like honestly, that's how you can get started, and then pay off the credit card as quickly as you can.
right.
But you can roll a $15,000 credit card over to a 0% interest credit card and buy yourself anywhere from 18 to 24 months by just rolling over the debt. So that's your risk, right? So don't put more on a card than you're willing to risk in case it fails. And you can go back to taking a job and paying off that credit card in a year or two, right? Like
exactly. You could pay $15,000 off in a blink of an eye almost.
If you get a business that starts well, yeah. If you make $1,000 a month as a side gig, you're paying it off within 18 months.
Easy. Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
All right. I like this one's interesting. New social media idea with a unique twist.
Okay, before we open it.
I know. I can't wait to hear it.
I'm going to make a wager that it's not a new idea.
Something tells me you're right.
Okay.
It's not a new idea.
Okay.
But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's
Not
see.
to knock Ernesto Carlos 29, but I'm pretty sure it's not a new idea.
Hello, everyone. Me and my partner are currently working on a social media app like everyone is using right now, but with a twist, which we see as a unique selling point. The idea is to bring an active part in the social media branch, which is right now filled with 95% of dead consumers. So basically, it means there's like dead accounts or bots. We strongly believe it has the potential to coexist with the big players like Instagram, Snapchat, etc. If an angel is interested, feel free to consider looking for angel investors as well. I'm not sure what they're saying. I think what they're saying is because most of these apps are like, what was it? 70% of Twitter were either dead accounts or bots or something like that at one point years ago.
So let's be clear. What they consider a dead account is an account that hasn't posted anything.
Yeah, in a certain period of
So
time.
like technically my 2 accounts on Twitter are both dead.
Right.
Because I go on there to read.
Yeah, I think I
to
posted
post.
in 2017, maybe my
So
last post.
your account would be considered dead, but doesn't mean we're not using it. It just means we're considered.
I read it all the time.
Correct.
But I don't post.
Yes.
I hardly ever post. So I'm not quite sure what the unique twist is, number one, and what they're planning on doing
he's
with
looking for someone to reach out to him. He's probably wants you to sign an NDA, would be my guess, before he shares it with you.
Oh, okay.
Let's call him.
Well, then we can't help you. Let's call him. We'll get on the phone right now.
Let's get that NDA out.
So sorry, Ernesto, we can't help you unless you give us some info. Yeah.
So since that came up, this brings up something very interesting.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on NDAs? And let's explain to people. So an NDA is a non-disclosure agreement.
I've heard of those.
Once, right? You heard of it once.
Once. Okay.
So, because you and I are, I think we look at them in a similar way.
Yeah,
but
we do.
like I will never sign a non-disclosure agreement. When a client comes to me.
Well, it depends on the situation.
I will never sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Okay.
If a client comes to me and says, I have this idea that I want you to look at and give me feedback on it.
If I came to you and said, Gummi, I want to buy your company for $100 million, but you have to sign this NDA, you're going to sign that NDA.
If you're paying me for it in advance, or you're
well, I'm saying there are legitimate reasons why you would want to sign an NDA.
Correct. Yeah, but like as a customer or a new client wants to run an idea by me or any of that stuff, I will never sign an NDA.
I'll play both sides.
If you're paying me to sign the NDA, I will probably sign it.
Yeah. I'll play both sides here. So I'll play both the inventor and the company that's looking to buy the invention.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So inventor comes up with idea and wants to, get a marketing team like yourself, hire a web developer, hire this, that, or the other. And I know, as I've seen this happen, and then you'll go to you and say, "Hey, Gummi, I have this great idea for a product. I think it's going to make hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm so excited about it." Great. What's your idea, Mr. Inventor? Well, I can't tell you that until you sign an NDA.
Yep.
You're not signing the NDA.
Nope.
It's not happening.
Nope.
It's just there's no reason for you to sign the NDA. The inventor's worried you're going to steal their idea. I get it. I would probably give some advice on that. If I were the inventor's attorney, I would probably say you can ask for it, but you're never going to get it. No one that understands how this stuff works is ever going to sign the NDA because there's no reason for them to sign it. And the bigger issue is, what if they're already working on something similar, or they're working with a client that's doing something similar. Now they've signed your NDA. That could cause problems.
I have had that happen where someone came to me, asked me to sign an NDA, and I said no, and they decided to show me their idea anyway.
Yeah.
And I worked with a client 2 years ago that
does this exact thing.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
I know more about this than you do.
Yeah.
So if I shared information with you, I technically need you to sign an NDA.
Right.
Because I can tell you more about your product.
Here's what it comes down to. And no offense to anybody out there who's like, hey, I have this great idea. Ideas are worth exactly zero.
Correct.
They're worth nothing. They don't mean anything.
Not until someone does something with it.
Turns it into a business, turns it into a physical service or a physical product, starts earning revenue, has some P&L to show from the last 2 or 3 years. Then maybe it's worth something.
Correct.
Right? At that point, then maybe you're considering signing an NDA, but that's only because you're considering purchasing the business or maybe investing or something like that.
But when it comes to pitching something,
no. NDAs are completely. Your idea is worthless. It means nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry to say that, and I know everyone has these great ideas. But
I honestly would be concerned if I was talking to an investor, an angel investor.
Yeah.
And I asked them to sign an NDA, and they did it.
Yeah, exactly. They
right? I would be like,
you don't know what you're doing.
Why is he willing to sign it? Right? Like, if you're an investor, you've probably seen more ideas in your life than most.
Yeah.
So chances are you would already know something about whatever it is I'm about to tell you. But now you can't use any of the information that I gave you about this when you go into another venture. Right? And I'm like, it doesn't make sense.
And people think, and I want to clear this up for a lot of listeners out there that are either new to business or new to raising money. You don't go to an angel investor and say, "Hey, I have this idea, give me money."
No.
It's, I had an idea, I started working on it.
Yes.
I have my proof of concept.
Correct.
I have might even have some customers already.
Prototype
or
at the
a prototype.
Yep.
Then they might give you some money. Maybe.
So it's funny because I actually know a guy that specializes in finding products and services that are targeted towards the sports industry. Mm-hmm. So he does work. Well, I shouldn't say he does work. Well, he does work. His clients, so they're an investor firm. So what they do is their clients are like Man United.
Sure. Great team.
You know.
I'm a Man U guy. I'm sorry. Always been a Man U guy.
I'm sorry.
Even now.
So was my dad. I still don't like them. And like he works for some of the U.S. Like hockey teams and football teams. Basically these big athletic clubs, and then all the way down to like third league type clubs. And they look at 3 investments. They look something that makes the fan experience better, something that makes the facilities better, or something that will help improve player performance or psyche.
Right.
So those are the 3 categories. So what they do is they open up for pitch decks. So someone comes to them and says, an example, the VAR. So VAR started as a concept. And then they tested it. And I actually believe they're one of the investors in that technology. So what they did was they said, okay, we like this technology. We think we can sell it to the soccer clubs or the television stations or, UEFA or FIFA, whoever ended up being the ultimate buyer of it. So what they do is they come in and say, okay, we're going to take 30% of your business. We're not going to give you any money. What we're going to do is we're going to take your technology and get it in front of the buyers.
Okay.
Right? And I think
which is worth more than money.
Correct.
Way worth more than money.
Like if you come up with a technology that is specifically targeted towards sports and these guys can get it in front of the major sports clubs, because you don't have to get it in front of every major sports club.
2 or 3.
If you get Chelsea and the Florida Panthers and the Flyers and the Lakers to implement a technology, other sports clubs are going to go, where did you get that? Right? So it's just kind of like, but once again, you have to have a functioning prototype or a functioning model before they even talk to you.
So you remember the movie Moneyball?
No.
You never saw Moneyball, the baseball movie?
It's about baseball?
It's about the Oakland A's in the early 2000s.
Is it about baseball?
It's about baseball.
Okay.
All right.
Baseball's not a sport. So we won't call it a sports movie.
That's
we can call it something else.
No, you absolutely cannot say that. You can't say baseball is not a sport.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Baseball is a spectacular sport.
Okay.
You might not like it, but baseball is a spectacular sport.
If I can take a nap during the game and not miss anything, it should not be considered a sport.
You can't necessarily do that.
You can necessarily do that. I did that. So I tried playing baseball when I was in high school.
You say the same thing about soccer.
And I took, no.
Yes, you can. I love soccer. I'm a huge soccer fan.
You can't be an active player on a soccer team.
The score can be 0-1 after 90 minutes.
But
where was the action?
You cannot be an active player on the roster and take a nap during the game.
Or about the actual players.
The actual players.
Who's taking a nap during the game?
You can take a nap while if you're batting.
Yeah.
Right? If your team is swinging that stupid bat.
And you're in the dugout.
And you're player number 9 at bat.
Yeah.
You can take a nap between the time batter 1
that's because you don't
and
understand
your
baseball.
9th batter.
You don't understand baseball. You can't do that. You know what you're doing?
You can absolutely take a nap.
No, you're in the dugout. You're watching the pitcher to try to see what kind of pitches he's throwing, how he's holding the ball.
Perfect.
No, you're not napping at all. I'm sorry, my friend.
Could you take a nap?
No.
Could you take a nap?
You could take a nap on the soccer field, too.
You cannot.
I can lay down there.
You have to be actively involved in the game. Baseball, you can take a nap. It's not a sport.
Moving on.
It's not a sport.
Oh, my God. So you're going to get so much hate mail for this.
I would call chess a sport before I called baseball a sport.
Oh, so much. What? All right. Anyway, in Moneyball, what happened was Brad Pitt movie. I highly recommend watching it. Jonas Hill's in it as well.
Can I give people your address for my hate mail?
No. Actually, I want to read it first. So anyway, long story short, in the 70s, I can't remember the guy's name, but it was this mathematician came up with these formulas for determining how baseball players should play baseball, right? Like when they should swing, when they shouldn't, and it was all based on statistics. The whole idea was based on statistics, but no one followed it. No one thought it was legitimate. But the theory had been out there for decades, but no one thought it was legit. And then in the movie Moneyball is actually a true depiction of the Oakland A's. I forget what years, but the early 2000s, they weren't doing well at all. And Jonas Hill's character is this mathematician from, I think, Yale, and he convinces Brad Pitt, who is, I think his name is Billy Martin in the movie. He's the GM of the Oakland A's, and they wind up implementing these algorithms, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because it gets to your point. And they wind up winning like 20 or 22 games in a row during the season, which was unheard of. And they go to the playoffs. They hadn't been to the playoffs in years. They were just a fantastic team. And then once that happened, then suddenly the Boston Red Sox wanted to do it, and all these other, and now every team in baseball does it at this point, right? But it took getting in front of that one team at the right time to suddenly have this. Like every team in the system now, you have football teams doing it and all these other things. Now everything's based on statistics now.
Correct.
Whereas 30 years ago, it wasn't. It was all based off of, I feel like this is the way to do it as a coach or a general manager.
Now it's all numbers. And I mean, I was reading somewhere the other day, they're now using software to analyze college players' performance to predict future injuries when they become pro players.
Yes.
Because the strain on the body is slightly different from going from college to pro.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Isn't it crazy?
Like it's
with
weird,
that,
right?
With that means I read something similar.
Mm-hmm.
That means you could never be injured and still not be drafted because they're afraid you're going to get injured.
Correct. Yes.
That's
but
crazy.
that also means that they could write your contract based on thinking they know
Right.
you will probably only last 2 years.
Right.
Because you're likely going to be prone to injuries. I'm
Yeah.
like, so from the money side of things, it's insane. This is why teams are willing to pay a boatload of money. It's like there was something that they did. I forget what it was, but they figured out a way to get fans to spend like an extra $10 on concessions. And it was some technology. They implemented something like, forget what it was. It was like this weird thing.
Yeah.
But they calculated if they could get during every game to get the average person to spend an extra $10. That was like billions a year.
Sure.
Right? It was
sure.
insane. But it was just one little thing, and they had prototyped it and tested it, and it proof of concept.
Yeah, beer prices.
And that's
you've been
yeah.
in any stadium recently? How much beer prices are? It's unbelievable.
Well, Philly doesn't have any good teams other than the Flyers. So, no, I haven't been to any games lately.
Dude, you're going to get me killed. You're going to get me killed. You can't say that here. You can't. Other than the Flyers? Are you serious?
Yep.
Have you seen the Sixers? They're a good team.
I stopped watching basketball.
Oh, man. Eagles, I think the Eagles might, I say that every year, though. I think the Eagles might do well this year.
I know.
But I say that every year.
Every football team says that about every...
No, not every football team says that.
Not the Browns.
Not the Browns. And I have a really good friend who lives in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And every year we rag on each other about the Browns. One of these days, the Browns are going to come out of nowhere and take the title, take the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And everyone's going to be in shock. And then some people are going to win millions of dollars on that because it's always like 200-1 for the Browns. All right, moving on.
Every year. Go put $10 on the Browns.
On the Browns every year.
winning the Super Bowl.
All right, let's see. So this is Scale Sensei Faisal, something like that. I don't know. Trying a different way to cut customer acquisition costs. Would love your thoughts. So this is right up your alley. Hello, everyone. I've been in the trenches working with agencies to smooth up processes and scale up their businesses for years, and I've seen how game-changing referrals can be. Well, yeah, referrals are everything. Now I'm turning this into a service for digital marketing agencies, and I need your input. Perfect. You're a digital marketing agency.
No, I'm super excited about this idea.
The problem, finding new clients is expensive and exhausting. Yes. High customer acquisition costs can drain your resources and energy. Yes, it does. The idea, imagine if your happy clients brought you new business. Referrals are cheaper and come with built-in trust. I'm thinking of helping agencies set up easy, rewarding referral programs to cut costs and boost business. Your thoughts? How can we make this even better? Have you tried something similar? Any ideas? And do you want to implement this? Blah, 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 blah. All right, Gummi, all you. So it's a reward program for referring businesses.
We have it. Every agency worth their
So explain what you do.
So basically a rewards program is nothing more than, it's also known as affiliate marketing, right? They're basically the same things. I get you to refer me a customer, and in return you get some kind of reward, whether it's money or, I don't know, tickets to something non-sports related, like, I don't know, baseball. But these things already exist. Most marketing companies that actually know what they're doing will have some kind of system in place like this. A lot of times this even happens during the sales process follow-up. Once you've had the client for 6 months, you go, hey, you wouldn't happen to have other people you know in your industry that need help.
Right.
Like this is marketing agencies already, most marketing agencies already do this really well. Spending $3,000 to $4,000 to get someone to do this. I mean, I can get a CRM system that has this built in that costs me $79 a month.
Right.
So if he has some magical way to increase the number of referrals you're getting, fantastic, but he doesn't really say what it is. But this is what marketing companies do. Half of my clients, the focus is on getting current customers to refer them more business
Yeah.
as much as it is chasing other customers. There's a guy, I think I talked about him on the podcast, that Bill Dex.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. He does 100% of his lead gen through referral business.
Right.
And spends almost no money on marketing other than just making sure he follows up with former customers, sends them gifts and presents and all kinds of stuff. The rewards he sends are basically he's prepaying for the referrals by sending them gifts.
Yeah,
Right?
I gotta
Like
tell you, referrals, especially in the legal industry, it's all about referrals.
Oh, yeah.
I actually a lot of times won't take a client if they haven't been referred. Not all the time, of course, but a lot of times because there's so many scams in the legal industry that if I don't know who this person is, I'm thinking, okay, they're trying to scam me.
Right.
There's a lot of
you're
scams.
an attorney.
That's what I'm saying. The legal
Right.
industry is a lot of scams with quote unquote new clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's a referral,
If it's some kind of referral software or some kind of referral program, that's going to cost $3,000 to $4,000 a month. You're definitely, once again, you're going to need proof of concept.
right?
You're going to have to come up with something that they aren't already doing or can't implement in a much cheaper way is really what it boils down to.
Right. And it's already, like you said, it's already being done in most cases.
And
to a point.
I shouldn't say that because once again, I go back to some of the videos I see on TikTok and they're like explaining something that's so basic. And I'm like, doesn't everybody know this? And then I go and look at the video and it has, 3.8 million views with 290,000 likes.
And
I'm
no one
like,
knew it.
And I'm like, how did people not know this? So I'm going to assume that just because the people I'm around do this really well doesn't mean that everybody's doing it really well.
Yeah.
Right? But a lot of the smaller solo agencies that might only have a couple of people or 3 people, whatever, might not be doing this as well. And then the question becomes, would they drop $3,000 or $4,000 on it? If you can prove the concept works, they probably would.
Right.
But if it's a maybe, they're probably going to revert back to.
I wonder if you could somehow integrate this with reviews as well, right? So in other words, we know who you are because we work with you as a marketing services company, and we can then track. You give us permission to track your reviews on Google, on Yelp, on Amazon, etc. And now we know the people that you like because you've given them 3, 4, 5-star reviews on a regular, and when someone has something, we can always say, yeah, look, this client of ours has gotten all these reviews from other people that we know. Maybe there's a way to integrate that somehow.
But I'd be interesting to hear what the actual idea is because this is just very broad.
Well, yeah,
it's
Reddit. Mostly everything's very broad.
There's
not everything's thought through.
Like he doesn't even.
There's no business plans up here.
Correct. But he doesn't even say like what it is. Well,
he wants you to sign an NDA.
Oh, okay. Send that right over. I'll have my attorney review it before I don't sign it.
All right, 𝙎𝙬🧐, good luck with you. Good luck to you on that one. Let's see. Any critiques or feedback on my idea would be appreciated. Well, you're about to get some. All right. I'm entering my university. Okay, this is overseas. We say college in the U.S. We don't say university. Nonprofit startup competition, $100,000 investment in 6 months. People who win this have very humanitarian ideas, not really intended to be super profitable. Okay. Any other ideas for this contest, adjacent or not, would be appreciated. Okay, so problem. 3 million U.S. children recently experienced chronic absenteeism from school due to injury, illness, or disability. Chronic school absenteeism can lead to poorer academic performance and school engagement. Surprisingly, even the top hospitals offer very little to address the concerns associated. Solution. My startup would be a one-stop virtual platform for free tutoring, social gatherings, events, career narratives, etc. for the students. Pilot results. I piloted this with 30 students last year. We got amazing feedback from the parents and partner organizations. The college students were very eager, as over 80 students from just one university signed up in less than a month. Funding. First, I would use the funding to create the platform. I would then use the funding toward marketing to hospitals, parents, etc. About me, I'm a student going to a top med school next year that has a passion for helping the well-being of patients. Any feedback would be appreciated. It's a lot to take in there, but so I mean, I guess it's a support and tutoring platform. Is what I'm getting out of that?
That's what I'm reading. It's like a community. I wouldn't even call it a platform as much as I would call it a community, because you have the volunteers.
Well, he said virtual, didn't he?
Correct.
Yeah.
Community can be online.
You can be a virtual community, sure. Okay.
I mean, Reddit is a community.
Oh, yes, it is.
Right? Like TikTok is a community, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's a lot of...
So what... I'm just trying to figure out, like, if they got amazing results. It's great. I don't think you're giving us enough information here. What they're actually doing.
I'm trying to figure out what he's asking for feedback on.
Right.
Because you have the idea, you have the proof of concept, you already have the feedback. So all you got to do is just make it presentable and put it into the startup competition.
And I think that's what's missing here is the presentation of what this actually is.
Correct.
You've given a description of it, but you haven't actually said how it works.
Yes.
You just said that you offer tutoring, social gatherings, narratives, et cetera, for students. Okay. But
so one-stop virtual platform, so community for events, career, narratives for students who are undergoing medical care. We'll be able to do this for free because many college students love volunteering for this kind of thing. So he's talking about like long-term sick children, St. Jude's, whatever, sure. Even short-term sick, is if they're running into problems with school or companionship, or that it's basically a community dedicated to those with chronic injury or illness or disability. I think it's a...
That's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Really good idea.
You just need to present it properly so that people understand exactly what it is and what you need the money for.
Yeah, so this is from Optimal Associate 16. I think that's the key here. I think based off of the reading, at least, it sounds like a really good idea.
And I think...
sounds like something that could take off quite well, but it's not presented here properly at all. And I don't have. I'm reading more into it.
I think this is not a idea problem. This is a presenting the idea problem. Because if Ronald McDonald and House and Make-A-Wish Foundation got behind this and supported it, good, right? Like that means next you can get the Shriners and St. Jude. Like you can get everyone. If those two get involved, you can generally get more organizations involved. So. Is it good enough to win $100K investment?
If it's presented properly.
You may not even need it. That's the thing, right? Like if you can get those organizations behind you, you could probably take this really far just with donations from people.
They'll raise money easily.
Yeah. In this case, whatever this is, I love the idea. I love the concept. I love that you've done proof of concept. I love that you have organizations that have supported it. I think you may just need someone from a marketing or sales field to help you come up with a presentation.
You need the message. You don't have a message here. So that's your feedback. That's our feedback here. There's no message.
No.
We don't know what you're trying to do. We kind of do.
Kind of do, but not really, right?
Yeah,
like it's a better. So it's a community, volunteers with sick people, sick kids.
Yeah.
Right. And anytime you bring up sick kids,
people listen.
They open their wallet.
Unless it's at our home, we can't watch the commercials about the dogs.
I know.
My wife, she will run out of the room crying.
What's her name?
Every time.
Sarah, whatever her name is.
Sarah McLachlan.
The song, right.
Yeah, exactly.
That one gets you every time. My wife
cries and runs out of the room every time. I gotta change the channel for like 4 minutes. They're really long commercials.
In the Eyes of an Angel song.
Yes, exactly. So no, totally cool idea. I would start working with a marketing services company immediately.
Not even if you're going to college. Go find someone that is a marketing major or.
Fair enough. Yeah, they forgot they're in college, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So go find them and find a group of them. Really dig down on this idea, how to structure it, how to present it, how you show the value of it. Because
or
the value
talk to
is
a marketing professor and they can put a team together for you and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. And the professor can assign it as some type of project for this.
Utilize what you have at your disposal.
Very
every
cool.
time.
All right, good luck to you
Love
out
this.
there. This is a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Dating apps marketing toward guys.
No, it won't work. You can skip it.
It's not gonna. I don't even want to read it, but I want to dig into it. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Dating apps are out there. That's why.
Well, they said Bumble wouldn't work. And now Bumble is $1 billion company.
No. I'm not saying dating apps don't work. Okay. I'm saying dating apps. So when you're saying geared toward guys, yes. It is for because for every woman who's on a dating app who will get 40 or 50 dates in a night.
Yes.
That there's 500 guys.
So to make this understandable, so laymen understand it, when bars have a cover charge, all the pretty girls
get in for free. Yeah, that's why they call it ladies' night. There's no men's night. Men are there anyway.
Correct.
Men are always going to be on dating apps.
They will pay to get access to the females, and that's why dating apps. There's been dating apps where women can register for free and guys have to pay.
We built a dating app years ago. It was called Flirting in Traffic. Yeah. It was actually a pretty cool idea. And when we first built it, very first time we built it, we had to seed it with women. We didn't care about the guys. The guys were irrelevant. Yeah. The guys were coming no matter what. We had to seed it. So we would have to actually go out, meet girls, convince them to sign up for the app. You know what I mean? And then within a couple of months, we probably had 200 or 300 girls on there. And then the guys were just and within a month there was like 10,000 guys. Yeah. The guys are easy. It's real easy to get the guys. The girls not so much. Unless you're talking artificial intelligence now. Now it's a different story. So I'm sorry to say Farlow dating, but dating apps for guys, it's just not going to happen. It's from the beginning of history. It's how
I kind of skimmed what this said. So basically, what he's saying is they want to pre-screen the guys that they let on the app.
Yeah.
So that the women know that they've been pre-screened.
Okay.
And interesting. No.
Isn't that what what's it called?
eHarmony does.
eHarmony, that's what I was thinking. eHarmony.
So they personality profile you. They don't screen you.
No, they don't have physical screening, but they're correct. From what I understand, is I had a buddy. Actually, my friend met his wife on there. I think there is a service
it's like
really. This, really long. Like you can't just get on sign up in a couple of minutes. You're on there for a while. Yeah. Trying to sign up for eHarmony because of their personality profile. So I don't know. Good luck with that. But
there is a service out there I think that already pre-screens people.
Seeking business ideas for new community with high household income. Oh, isn't everybody? Hi Reddit. This is from Affectionate Mess 824. I recently moved to a new community with an average household income of 120 grand. At a nearby intersection, new buildings are coming up for rent, and a 6-Eleven?
It's probably meant to be 7-Eleven.
Okay, you think so?
Yeah.
That's a trademark, right? Trademark infringement? That would be a trademark issue. Yeah. Is already set up to open there. I'm considering starting a business that has great margins, isn't too stressful, and generates good revenue even on bad days. The area is close to many communities and houses. What business idea would you recommend? So, let me get this straight. You want someone to give you the idea for a business that is low stress, high margins, and will work well even when the market's not doing too good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, good luck.
I love
That's a great, let me guess. Franchises, right? Is that what they're going to say franchises?
Yeah.
Go on, say it.
No. So, but there's so much more to this, right? Is just because you have an average household income of 120K doesn't mean that you can plump something in there.
Because if you could, everybody would do it. Just move to
I love
start
that,
a spot.
I love that first response, by the way, down below.
What's it say?
Coffee.
Coffee? Yeah, right. No kidding.
Yeah, that's but no, seriously, like this is what he's talking about is if you can find like an absentee-owned franchise, like a Starbucks or a Salad Works,
right,
or like they have high investment opportunity, like it's high investment to get in, but they are autopilot businesses that make money. There are businesses like that, but you're not going to start a random new business, plump it in a neighborhood and think you're going to do really well with like if nobody knows who you are. This is like 7-Eleven is a franchise. There's a reason they're opening, right? Like Chick-fil-A, but none of them are easy to start with. They either require a lot of time or a lot of money. So you can pick one or the other.
So So if you're really considering this, I would look at the marketplace first. Who's there? Not what businesses are there, but what people are there.
Correct.
Right? Who are these people that earn 120K? Are they business owners?
Where are you?
Are they executives?
Is this North Dakota?
Right, exactly. And who are the people that live there? Right? Why are they there? Why do they make so much money?
Do you know what franchise would be phenomenal for this?
You don't know where it is though.
I don't care where it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Rita's Water Ice.
Rita's Water Ice is good anywhere.
Correct.
Apparently, except Florida. I don't know why.
But this has Rita's Water Ice
written all over it. Yeah.
Right. It's 4 or 5 months a year. The owners are not super involved. It's young kids that run it during the summer.
Yeah.
The 120 plus household income are the ones that'll spend $7 on a gelatini, whatever, frappe, whatever it is they have. I stopped going. Like,
you hate baseball, you hate Rita's.
I don't hate Rita's.
Why are you in this country?
I hate Rita's pricing now. I used to go all the time.
Yeah, I know. It got expensive.
Yeah. But yeah, this screams that type of business to go in there. Is this, if you're looking for something that you don't have to put a lot of work in, you're going to have to put a lot of money in. And franchises are ideal.
Rita's, last time I checked, because I was working with someone about 4 years ago, I want to say it was, right before the pandemic, and it was $250,000 to start, $250,000 to start a Rita's.
Not horrible.
It's not horrible at all.
No.
And a bank will give you a loan like that.
Yes, yeah.
Because that's one of the things they know right away.
A lot of them are pre-approved by like the SBA and stuff. Right. So this could be something ideal to plump down a franchise that targets this demographic.
And it's only open, 5-6 months a year?
I think it's 5 months a year.
5 months in this
4.5
area? Up in the northeastern U.S. because it gets cold soon.
Correct.
Not soon, but October. Yeah. And then they shut down till beginning of spring.
So Rita's Water Ice. That's my idea.
Yeah, there you go. There's your idea. I guess it's low stress. I mean, I generally hire teenagers to do the work.
Correct.
Could be high margin for a certain period of time, but think about it. You're doing all your work over 5 or 6 months, and then the rest of the year you're closed.
Yeah.
What do people? There are some people that do things with their stores while they're closed. Have you heard about that?
No.
Like they'll do things with the Rita's Water Ice store while it's closed. They'll like open another franchise type business. I can't think of what it was.
I don't know. But I mean, that's
because this place sit vacant.
Yeah.
Nothing happens during.
I mean, that was the whole idea when Baskin Robbins and Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Came
Right.
Like that was that whole concept.
Yeah.
But
who was it? It was Taco Bell, KFC,
Long John Silver,
and someone else that were purchased by Pepsi.
Long John Silver,
purposely so they could sell Pepsi.
Yes.
Yeah. Long John Silver is part of that,
that's always been.
Oh, I know.
Same thing.
Because Pepsi couldn't get into there, so they bought them.
Oh yeah. Back when I
thought that was funny.
Back when I used to work for Pepsi, we would buy into restaurants.
Yeah, you told me that.
Right? So like if you open a restaurant and you need a sign,
right,
you can go to Pepsi and say, hey, if we carry only Pepsi, and you can do the same thing with Coke, right? So a lot of times they will actually pay for your signage, for example, as long as they get to put a Pepsi or a Coke logo on it.
Right.
And you exclusively carry those products.
Yep. All right. We have time for one more?
Yes.
You have to leave soon, I know. All right. Gas mask filters?
I know nothing about it.
I got to read this one then. Finally, something Gummi doesn't know about. One thing I noticed, this is from Revolutionary Gecko. One thing I noticed that when people are going military surplus shopping, they have to be careful with gas mask filters from gas masks as they contain asbestos. I have an idea where we should make gas filters for old gas masks. Say that 5 times fast. But they are like modern ones where they use activated charcoal. I know it might sound silly, but I think it would be pretty successful. Okay. Well, having a military background, I know quite a bit about, not quite a bit, but I know enough about gas masks. I know what he's talking about because you can use the gas mask in a gas chamber during training or whatever, pull that thing out 2 weeks later and breathe in, you're still going to get that smell. It's still going to be there.
Yeah. So what he's talking about is getting rid of all that stuff.
Yeah, getting rid of all that stuff. So it's basically cleaning the gas mask.
Yeah,
I don't know that there's much of a market for that, though.
First of all, it's a very, very tiny market.
It's got to be.
They already have
military surplus vintage.
Yeah, so they already have things in place that could be replaced, I believe. So like.
Oh, I'm sure I could go on Amazon or something like that and say, here's the type of gas mask I have.
Here would be my advice. As a hobby business,
Maybe, yeah.
to do this like as a side money or whatever, I
Right.
think, yes, you could probably do it. You're going to be selling on places like eBay. You might get a couple of surplus stored to carry it. But this is not like a massive mass market opportunity
No.
So test it, prototype it.
Yeah.
Right? Make 100 prototypes, see if they sell, see how fast they sell.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I just don't think there's a big enough market for it.
It's not
by any means.
it's not a great idea either.
Well, it's not terrible. I mean, I feel good. I know what he's saying.
Do you know-
If I walk into a certain
what I
RV
just
Navy
realized?
store, what?
We're like those two old guys in the Muppet Show that sit up on the
Oh,
podium.
absolutely. I always forget their
God.
names.
Yes.
And it's
Put it in the comments.
oh, gee,
Put in the comments whatever their name is.
Wow, I knew this too.
Yeah.
The two guys that upstairs always yelling at people.
And then they argue, right? And then they always start with, "Oh, that's a great idea. That was a horrible idea."
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, maybe it wasn't all that great.
All right, so since we just did that, we'll move on to
Okay.
one more real quick. Is this good 18-year-old wannabe entrepreneur? Yes, already it's good because you're an 18-year-old and you want to
Yes.
be an entrepreneur. I love it. I'm 18 and starting a digital pass in my city that provides discounts and free drinks. Right now it's 70 restaurants, cafes, and bars. I'm selling it for €10. That's euro, right? Yeah. €10 and mainly promoting it on my Instagram theme page built around this city that has 110,000 followers, mainly tourists. Since the launch in March so far, I've sold 120 passes. That's not bad. It's $1,200 or euros, which is really below my expectations. Maybe the problem is that most tourists are only interested in 5 trendy places that are not among my partners. Another thing might be simply that the €10 price isn't worth it for people who only stay 2 to 3 days in Budapest. The restaurants including this pass usually aim for tourists, so they really don't have local-friendly prices. Also, locals prefer ordering food online. That would be complex to do. That's why I don't think about targeting locals. Here's my solution: making the pass free to access limiting the usage at each partner location to 50 per month, and charging them a monthly fee after these 50 guests are delivered. So turning it on to the stores. Also, I could add some kind of review automation that gets them more Google reviews. All right, so let me go back for 1 second. So it's discounts. So it's a discount card and maybe a free drink.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, everyone does that, right? We all like. I don't know if my son was part of the marching band years ago at Central Bucks South, and for $10 you would buy the discount card, and that would get you 10% off this place, 20% off there, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of the same concept.
What he has is a twofold problem. One, people probably don't know if they're coming as tourists for 2 or 3 days, how much they're actually going to be spending at restaurants and bars,
right,
to know whether or not the 10 quid or the 10 euros is worth it.
Big difference.
I know. Actually, they're similar in price, aren't they?
No,
Oh.
not at all.
Okay, never mind.
Quid's worth a heck of a lot more.
So, huh?
The pound is worth a heck of a lot more
than the euro right now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I'll tell you what it's in a second.
I don't monitor the currency. But so I think first off is people don't understand. So if you had first of all, you need to get into all the hotel lobbies and wherever this could be sold, because you're not going to sell it on your Instagram. It's not happening. You need to sell this as an actual pass where these people are coming. So they're coming into the hotels, they're coming in through airports and train stations. So you got to figure out a way to get it in front of the tourists.
Right.
That is not Instagram. I have this issue all the time with young entrepreneurs. They think everything is sold online,
right,
and it's not, right? Like, and I'll give you the dumbest example that I ever heard. I was talking to a girl who's an artist, and she makes like statues and like actual artwork. And she was saying, well, my business is struggling even though I have a lot of followers on Instagram. And I go, where are you selling your stuff? And she goes, on Instagram. I'm like, how many art galleries are in your
right.
town? And she goes, 9. How many of them have you talked to?
None.
I never even thought of it.
Yeah.
Right? So this is not a problem of product. This is a problem of thinking you can sell this only through Instagram. This needs to be this is an opportunity purchase. It is not a planned purchase.
Right.
Right?
This isn't something that I go to as I'm planning my trip to Budapest. I'm not looking to purchase a discount card.
Correct.
When I get to Budapest and I start walking around, then I might purchase the discount card.
Now, there are going to be a handful of people that plan and purchase this, which is probably how he sold his 120 passes.
Right.
But you're not going to sell 12,000 passes until you get in front of them as an opportunity purchase. And that's done at the hotels, train station, tourist locations, even at the places that have these cards, right, where this discount applies to. If you can get them to sell the cards, because that benefits all of them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because tourists generally don't go back to the same place every night. They want to try something
Always
new.
something new, right.
Right? So if you can get the restaurants to sell them to the tourists, now you guys are supporting each other as well. So this is a where you're selling it problem, not what you're selling problem.
The idea is legit. The idea works. I've seen it work a bunch of times.
It works everywhere.
And so
they even sell the ticket books in New York and to museums that are already free.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I've seen that.
And tourists buy them.
But it gets them in the museums. Oh, I can go there for free. Because people don't know they're free a lot of times. So
well,
people don't.
It's because...
You know how many people don't know that the Smithsonian's are free in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
Most people don't know it's free.
No. And same thing up in New York.
Yeah.
Any federal museum is going to be free. They ask for a donation when you walk in, but they can't
Philadelphia
charge
Art
you.
Museum is still free on Sundays, isn't it?
I don't know.
It was always free on Sundays when I was younger.
I don't know.
I think it's still free now. Most people don't know about it.
The point is, like, people will spend money on what they think will save them money as long as you present it to them at the right time in the customer journey, so to speak.
So again, good idea. You're not advertising it and you're not selling it the right way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because he's 18 years old and thinks that everything is sold online.
And by the way, the euro is 0.84 pounds. So it's about 16% off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not horrible.
Oh, it's not great.
It's not horrible.
They're not equal, I'll tell you that. Big difference.
Close enough.
All right, so I think that's enough for today.
How much is the Colombian peso to the
Colombian peso?
To the pound.
Out. Let's find out. To the pound?
Yeah.
Colombian peso.
Now you'll see a real difference.
What's that one? It's like 1 trillion.
I don't know.
To the Zimbabwe, I think it was.
Venezuela.
Colombian peso to the USD, it's a lot. So the pound, it must be a ton. Let's see. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
3 zeros. 0.0002.
That's a difference.
And let's say, I think it's Zimbabwe.
Really? I'd be curious about Venezuela too.
Oh, no, it's not Zimbabwe. It's another one. Zimbabwe is actually the same as the Colombian. It's 0.002. Actually, it's better than the Colombian.
Try Venezuela.
Oh, man, that was bad. I remember that was bad years ago. The Bolivar.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's not as bad. It's 33. $1 US is worth 33.96 Venezuelan bolivars.
Okay.
Not terrible.
No.
Compared to what it used to be. When that inflation hit, what was that, 10 years ago or whatever it was?
Ooh, it was crazy.
Brutal.
Everything was off. So.
All right, that's it for today. Thanks, man. Good seeing you. We'll do this again next week.
We will.
We will.
Well, as far as they know.
As far as they know. It could be whenever. All right, cool. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.